Oftentimes when discussing police in the U.S., it has to do with excessive force or innocent, unarmed people getting shot and killed. But there are also stories involving the police state where no one gets killed, but people's rights are being violated by those who are supposed to protect us. Recently, there were 3 stories that demonstrated just that. One of those stories involved NYPD cops arresting a mailman for no real reason, okay? This story is still developing, so there could be information in the future that we don't have at the moment. But there was video released online that went viral showing this mailman working for the U.S. Postal Service getting arrested. He didn't seem to understand why he got arrested. He speculated that it happened because he shouted at the cops for nearly hitting his truck with their police cruiser. So he's thinking that's what led to what you're about to see now.
I have a guess. That's exactly why they arrested him. How dare you shout at us when we almost ran your, at least,
or hit your car.
Hit your car, right? You can't. What's the biggest crime in America? Disrespecting a police officer.
Right.
No matter how wrong they are, it doesn't matter. You're gonna. And by the way, he's black. Oh, go.
So let's look at the video. Let's look at the video. You'll see exactly how it went down. We don't see all of it, but here's the important part.
Nah. Chill out. Lawsuit. You on camera? You on camera? Lawsuit. You on crime. A UPS driver. Not even a UPS driver. What warrant? Yo, don't play like that.
I really don't like the people instigating in the background, right? Like, I know they're trying to defend him, but I feel like it makes the matter worse, to be honest.
Oh, but come on, it's a little catchy. Lawsuit, man, lawsuit.
No, I don't like it. Okay. Anyway, I guarantee you people are going to look at that video and say, well, it looked like he was, shouting at the cops or whatever.
By the way, shouting at a cop
is not illegal.
It's not a crime.
Yeah.
There's no ordinance that says you can't shout at cops. Now, in the real world, they're going to arrest you or do worse. But they're not supposed to, right? They're supposed to show restraint. And he's a mailman. What do you think he's up to? He's not up to anything. And you know he's not up to anything.
Yeah. Okay. So
maybe we'll find out some other parts of it, but for the moment being, it looks bad for the cop.
All right, so that's story number 1. And then that's in New York. Now let's go to Louisiana, where a reporter by the name of Chris Nakamoto was trying to figure out why the mayor of his town randomly got a significant pay raise. So he goes to a government building looking for public records, as many journalists do. And then he got arrested. He was seeking records about the mayor's sudden pay raise and wanted access to audio recordings of the city council meeting to figure out why this occurred. At that point, an officer showed up and said, "I'm going to ask you to leave." And the reporter told him, "Well, I'm a journalist. I'm here for public records in a government building. You can't just tell me to leave." And then he got arrested. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you genuinely care about the Constitution, right, this is a direct violation of the First Amendment.
So here's my thoughts on this. Lawsuit, man, lawsuit. Okay. No, but look at how this goes down no matter where it is. New York, Louisiana. You disrespect a police officer, you don't follow my orders, I'm going to arrest you. Based on what? Here, give me that for a second, Anna. Look at the quote here in the story. So the reporter asks, "On what grounds? This is a public building, sir. We have a right to be here. I have public records request. We're not leaving." The officer, I did ask you nicely. You're refusing to leave, so I'm going to have to put you under arrest for," and then they explain, he hesitated for quite some time, "for remaining after being forbidden." There's no such crime of remaining after being forbidden.
So, look, I don't know if there were local lawmakers who put the police up to this, but here's the thing. There's freedom of the press. The reporter was doing nothing wrong. You are supposed to request public records and figure out exactly what happened and why this mayor got this raise. All right, so that's Louisiana. That's story number 2. Let's go to story number 3. The final one has to do with a Muslim woman who was at a public library in D.C. Apparently, she was at the Watha T. Daniel Shaw Neighborhood Library on Wednesday, and a police official approached her and told her, "You need to take off your hijab." And when she kept asking why, he wouldn't really give her an answer and started to threaten to arrest her. Now, he didn't say he was going to arrest her, but he reached for his handcuffs and kept telling her that she needed to take her hijab off. Okay. There's no law against wearing a hijab in a public library. There's no law in America banning anyone from wearing a hijab. We're not in France. Okay, so I don't know what the issue was there. But we're living in a police state. It doesn't matter if you're some white person who thinks that it's only the black people who are being affected by this. You will be affected by this as well. Everyone's being impacted by this.
Yeah, and in some of the stories, you clearly see bigotry or racism. But even if it's not clear to you, that isn't the overwhelming point. That's an important point, right? But the bigger point is the thing that connects all of them is the people in power are in charge. And they don't have to follow the law. They don't have to enforce the law. They just do whatever they want, and you got to bow your head and do what they tell you. But that's not democracy. That's tyranny. And so right now, the powerful have been in charge for so long that they think they are above the law. So they make up things like remaining when forbidden, right? And carrying the mail and dressing in a way that a cop doesn't like. And try to intimidate the rest of us. The cops are supposed to serve and protect us. We're not supposed to need protection from the cops. We've got to take our government back so that it works for us.
Exactly.
The representatives are supposed to represent us, not their donors. The cops are supposed to protect us. We're not supposed to need protection from the cops. We can have that again, but we need a democracy, and this ain't it.